things somehow get worse for the Golden State Warriors. The surprise game of the year. Someone finally fights Joel Embiid, plus a bunch of other great games. That's a look at what we gotta take a look at today, but with that out of the way, what is up, guys? It's me, Zach Lee, back bringing you some more NBA discussions. How you all doing? Hope you're all having a fantastic day wherever you are watching this from. But with that being said, go ahead and destroy that like button, as it does help the channel grow. But not only that, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on videos like this every Monday through Friday. That is 5 days a week that I'm doing my best to keep you guys updated with everything that's going on in the NBA. So definitely make sure you are subscribed. But now with that out of the way, let's just take a look at everything that is going on in the NBA. But first, I do have to give a shout out to the gracious sponsor of this video, SeatGeek. By now, all of you guys know what SeatGeek is. It's the best app for anyone looking to get tickets to a game, concert, or any type of live event. My favorite SeatGeek feature is being able to see a live view from the seats before you buy your tickets. You're not going to get to the arena and have one of those seats that no one wants if you use SeatGeek, and it only gets better than that. On top of their already great prices, you're going to get to save an additional $20 off your first order when you enter the promo code SDC at checkout. Once again, that is the promo code SDC. Look, I'll have the link so you guys can download the app down in the description box below. Trust me, if you're a sports fan, if you're someone that likes to go to the concert or any other live events, you definitely want this app. With that being said though, now let's just get into this video. Things somehow got worse for the Golden State Warriors. It was already a rocky beginning to their season. People were already questioning how good is this team really going to be without Klay Thompson this year. People were questioning that already coming into this game. Now, after this game, no one's questioning how good the Warriors are going to be this year anymore, because the Warriors' year just ended. Stephen Curry, in a game against the Phoenix Suns, broke his hand. Stephen Curry is now also out for the Golden State Warriors. No Kevon Looney, no Klay Thompson, no Stephen Curry. The Golden State Warriors are now left with Draymond Green, D'Angelo Russell, who's still trying to learn the system, plus a bunch of other first year, second year, or former G League players. That's what the Golden State Warriors have to work with now, meaning that another playoff spot just opened up in the Western Conference. It was going to be a tight race this year. It still is, but room just got made for one more team. The Warriors have just been eliminated from playoff contention. It's not going to happen this year. This is going to be an off year for the Golden State Warriors. We'll see how they come back next year once they have Klay and Steph again. And for the Warriors, all they can do now is just develop this young talent that they have. You look at their roster and you see names like Pascal, Robinson, Spellman, Poole, Burke, Cauley-Stein, Bowman, Damian Lee, Marquise Chris. It's a very young team and a very different team than the team that we've seen the Warriors have the past 5 years when they've been the most dominant force in the NBA. That being said, this is a very unfortunate injury. A lot of people coming into the season, even myself, had Stephen Curry as sort of a dark horse to win MVP. Thought he could get his third MVP award now that he would have to shoulder this massive burden for the Warriors. And if he was going to do that and get them into the playoffs as the 4th, 5th, 3rd seed, something like that, then who knows what could happen. Steph Curry put up good enough numbers, he could have walked away with his 3rd MVP this year, but now that is out the window as well. Like I said, this is a very unfortunate injury, not just for the Golden State Warriors, but for the entire NBA fan base. We just lost a special player to an injury. You know who else is a special player? Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam is a very special player. I was watching the Pistons take on the Raptors last night, and it turned into the Pascal Siakam show. Dude puts up 30 points and made it look so easy, so effortless. And on the year, he is averaging 28 points per game on 48% shooting from the field. Not only that, the dude is a lethal outside shooter now. He's pulling from a few feet beyond the arc, making threes in transition. Step back threes, he's got it, shooting 43% from the field this year. He's initiating the offense for Toronto. He's doing everything for the Toronto Raptors. And no one's talking about this guy. This guy needs more shine. Pascal Siakam is a bona fide star. He will be an all-star this year, and it won't be his first appearance. He deserves much more recognition than he's getting. The Sacramento Kings are still searching for their first win of the year. They lost to the Charlotte Hornets at home last night, 118 to 111. And look, I get that the Kings don't have Marvin Bagley. He's not playing for them right now, but that's no excuse. We're talking about an 0-5 start for a team that a lot of people expected to make that jump to become a playoff team this year, or at least be right there in the race for a playoff spot. And there's still a lot of basketball to be played, so that could be the case. But as of right now, an 0-5 start is unacceptable. And it gets even worse when you determine the breakdown for this 0-5 start, and that is the head coach, Luke Walton. That's the exact reason, that's probably the only reason the Kings could have been outscored 158 to 96 in the third quarters this season. They're coming in and losing the third quarter by an average of 12 points per game throughout the first 5 games of this season. And if a team is coming out of halftime not playing up to par, if a team is coming out of halftime getting destroyed by the opposing team, you have to start looking at the coach, because whatever he's saying during locker room halftime, the adjustments he's making, all the stuff that's going on clearly isn't getting through, and it's not showing up on the basketball court. The Sacramento Kings are 0-5. I don't care if you don't have Marvin Bagley, that's no excuse. You see teams out here missing their best player. The Pistons don't have Blake Griffin. The Indiana Pacers don't have Victor Oladipo. Teams are dealing with injuries, yet even these teams have managed to get a win. Right now, I don't want any of you guys to be fooled. I don't want any of you guys to believe in any type of hype. I don't want any of you guys to do any of that stuff when it comes to the Cleveland Cavaliers and when it comes to Tristan Thompson. Look, the Cleveland Cavaliers won yesterday. They got a 117 to 111 win versus the Chicago Bulls. And in this game, Kevin Love was magnificent. Put up 17 points, 20 rebounds, and dished out 5 or 6 assists. Tristan Thompson in this game was also magnificent. 23 points and 11 rebounds. On the year so far, Tristan Thompson has been magnificent. He's averaging 20 points and 11 rebounds per game. Here's the thing though, this is a contract season for Tristan Thompson. All of that money that LeBron James helped him make, yeah, all of that's about to go out the window after this season. He's playing for a new contract. And that's why I do not want any of you guys to be fooled. Tristan Thompson doesn't care about winning. Tristan Thompson does not care about winning basketball games. If he cared in the slightest bit, we would have been seeing this Tristan Thompson come out long before it was time for his contract to expire. Long before it was time for him to play for another payday. Tristan Thompson putting up 20 points and 11 rebounds per year means nothing to me. It doesn't. And I don't think it should mean anything to these teams either. Because if any team goes in and pays Tristan Thompson a large sum of money because he was averaging 20 points and 11 rebounds per game, then that team just robbed themselves, because this dude is not going to play like this once he gets that bag. He's going to be one of those players who gets a bag and then once again regresses to a player who barely tries out there in the basketball court. That's what we've been seeing from Tristan Thompson the past few years, and now that his money's on the line, he's up, he's at him, and he's looking like he wants to play basketball again. I am not buying it. Tristan Thompson, do this again next year after you get paid. That's what I want to see. If you do that, then I will acknowledge that you are back as a basketball player. Until then, I am not believing anything. Real quick, here are some other games from the night. The Orlando Magic beat the New York Knicks 95 to 83. Nikola Vucevic doing his thing. He should be an all-star once again this year with 21 points and 13 rebounds. The Utah Jazz got the win over the Kawhi Leonard-less Los Angeles Clippers. No real problem with Kawhi, he's just out due to load management. Mike Conley finally coming alive and hitting some shots. He had started off this season ice cold, and I think even that is an understatement for how cold this dude was. He woke up yesterday though to score 29 points, including hitting 5 of his 8 3-point attempts. Utah in general was just shooting the lights out, 55% from the field and 46% from 3 against the team that is supposed to be one of the best defensive teams this year. The Portland Trailblazers hold on to edge out the OKC Thunder 102-99. Even though OKC hasn't been winning much this year, I do have to give them props. All of the games they've lost have been very close. Maybe they would have won this game had it not been for their poor outside shooting. OKC shot just 4 of 27 from 3 last night. Meanwhile, Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum combined for 45 points for the Blazers. The Indiana Pacers get their first win of the season, 118-108 over the Brooklyn Nets. Domantas Sabonis continues to play magnificently after his contract extension, puts up 29 points. Jeremy Lamb showing what he can do for the Pacers, put 25 points. TJ Warren with 20, but no one better in my mind than Malcolm Brogdon. This guy has been killing it for the Pacers this year, even though this was just their first win. 21 points and 13 assists last night, and on the year, this dude is averaging 22 points, 11 assists, and 5 rebounds per game. Still believe that the Milwaukee Bucks made a very big mistake by letting this dude walk away. Now though, for a game that I really want to talk about, now though for a game that I don't think anyone expected to be as good as it was. The Houston Rockets versus the Washington Wizards. Listen to the score and keep in mind that there was no overtime played. Not a single second of overtime. Exactly 48 minutes of basketball played in this game, and yet the final score is still read 159-158. I wanted this game to go to overtime. I really wanted this to be one of those double, triple overtime games just because it was that much fun to watch. They were playing some great, exciting basketball out there. James Harden, 59 points on the night. Could have had 60 had he not missed his last free throw on purpose to make the clock run out and make sure the Wizards didn't have a chance to win the game. 59 points for Harden, but he wasn't the only one going off in this game. Bradley Beal was doing his thing as well. We're talking about 46 points for Bradley Beal. Beal versus Harden, 2 of the best shooting guards in the game going at it. That's the type of stuff that you like to see, and I'm going to use the famous line here: if you don't like that, then you don't like NBA basketball. And not only that though, I really liked what I saw from Russell Westbrook last night. He was a utility man for the Houston Rockets. His energy was contagious. His energy was getting in places, was getting things done for the Houston Rockets. Finished the game with 17 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists. He wasn't trying to do too much. Whenever he could do something, he did it to the fullest. I really like how Russell Westbrook is playing with the Houston Rockets so far. You know what else I really like though? I really like the rookie Rui Hachimura. Rui Hachimura. There was some buzz surrounding him in the NBA draft. A lot of people weren't sure how good he was going to be. He fell to the Washington Wizards as the 9th pick, and that is one of the best things that has happened to the Washington Wizards since Bradley Beal himself. This guy is going to be special beyond words. Special beyond words. 23 points for him last night on 9 of 14 shooting, including 3 of 3 from 3. On the year, he's averaging 18 points on 50% shooting from the field to go along with 7 rebounds. Dude is one of the purest scorers that I have seen. He makes it look so easy, and this entire draft class so far has been special. I really like this draft class, and I like what we are seeing from some of these players. And that's not even to mention that we still haven't seen the headlining act yet. Zion still hasn't made his debut, and this draft class is already looking special. The Boston Celtics are back to looking like the Boston Celtics. They beat the Bucks last night, 116-105. This was a comeback win. The Boston Celtics had a huge third quarter that really propelled them to this win. It was looking like it was going to be a blowout at first, but then a guy like Jason Tatum started to come alive. He had been struggling to find his shot so far this year, and it was even struggling in the first half of this game. But once the second half started, flames. Nothing but pure flames. Jason Tatum couldn't miss. Paul Pierce was going crazy on the sideline, and so was everyone else in the TD Garden. And Tatum wasn't the only guy killing it for the Celtics. Kemba Walker played his best game in green with 32 points. Gordon Hayward is back. The thing that we were seeing on the court last year, that wasn't Gordon Hayward, that was Gordon Hayward's twin brother trying to play for him out there in the basketball court. That wasn't Gordon Hayward last year. This year, Gordon Hayward's coming back. Last night he looked magnificent, 21 points, 10 rebounds, and initiated the offense for a while and looked really good doing it. Finished the game with 7 assists. Marcus Smart also stepped up in the absence of Jaylen Brown, who was out this game with an illness. Overall, though, like I said, this Boston Celtics team looked like the Boston Celtics we were expecting to see last year. They look like a team with a lot of fight. They look like a team with a lot of great offensive options, which they are. So I'm hoping that this keeps up, because the Celtics being good only makes things better for us as NBA fans. And now for the last thing that we gotta talk about. We gotta talk about the fight. We gotta talk about the fight that was destined to happen eventually. Eventually, one of these big men in the league were going to be fed up with Joel Embiid and go at Joel Embiid. You had to know what was going to come eventually, and that time came last night. The Sixers were blowing out the Wolves, and Karl Anthony Towns had had enough. He had had enough of the antics and had enough of the talking from Joel Embiid, and the two of them eventually got ejected for fighting. Yes, Karl Anthony Towns was going at Joel Embiid, and Joel Embiid was ready to go right back at Karl Anthony Towns. You saw him hyping up the crowd, pretending he was Rocky out there in the basketball court, throwing these imaginary jabs. This is the type of stuff that I love to see. This is a rivalry, people. We have a rivalry between two of the best big men in the NBA, and Karl Anthony Towns and Joel Embiid. That's exciting if you are an NBA fan, because the NBA needs more of this. It needs more rivalries. Teams that we can look forward to playing and say, this is a game that we have to watch because of these two players. These two players are going to be going at it, and you do not want to miss out on that. So I'm all for this. And Karl Anthony Towns even took it up a notch on Twitter after the game. The dude was going at Joel Embiid on Twitter, called him a clown, called him all sorts of things. This is the type of stuff that I love to see, especially from a guy like Karl Anthony Towns, who in the past has been ridiculed for being too soft, for letting things go. But the Towns that we are seeing so far this year has changed. He's not the same scared little boy that he's looked like in the past. The dude is out here flexing. He's out here trying to make a name for himself. He's done. He's done being that other guy. He's done with people talking about AD and Joel Embiid being ahead of him. He's like, nah, I don't want that anymore. I want my name to be up there firmly. I don't want them to be Joel Embiid, then Karl Anthony Towns. Anthony Davis, then Karl Anthony Towns. Nikola Jokic, then Karl Anthony Towns. It wants to be Nikola Jokic and Karl Anthony Towns, Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis and Karl Anthony Towns, to the point where there can be legit discussions as to who is better. That's what Towns is out for this year, and I'm all for it. I'm happy to see it. He's finally growing up. He's finally taking that step and ready to make a serious name for himself in the NBA. That though is going to lead us to the player of the day, the portion of the video where you guys have the option, the opportunity to vote for who you think was the best player in the league last night by clicking the little eye icon in the top right hand corner of the video. And without further ado, here are today's nominees. First up, you got Kemba Walker and his 32 points. Next up, you got James Harden and his 59 points and 6 assists. Followed by that is Malcolm Brogdon and his 21 points, 13 assists, Devin Booker and his 31 points, or Pascal Siakam and his 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. As always, only players whose team won are eligible to win Player of the Day. And yesterday, that Player of the Day was none other than Anthony Davis and his 40 points and 20 rebounds in just 3 quarters. That though is going to do it for everything that we gotta talk about today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, as always, be sure to smack that like button as it does help the channel grow. And not only that, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel with post notifications on so you don't miss out on more of these videos. Once again, 5 days a week, every Monday through Friday. Make sure you're subscribed. But with all of that being said, you guys already know that you are the real MVPs. And until tomorrow, keep getting the buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace!